Yeah, I'm Hannah Johnson. I'm Miss Lincoln 2026. I've been competing since about 2019. I went to school at UNL and graduated in 2024, and now I work for the Friendship Home of Lincoln. I started auditioning for Omaha Fashion Week when I was about 16 years old, and I ended up getting booked at my very first casting, which I was not expecting. I actually love telling the story of going to the casting and then not hearing back for a few weeks and being very like, it is what it is. I guess it's just not meant for me. And the next day, after kind of like having that realization, I got an email from Develop Model Management about coming in for a contract signing and walking in Omaha Fashion Week. So that was kind of my intro to everything.
Yeah.
Definitely trying to replicate what other people did.
Okay.
That was a big part of my style. Obviously the trends that were around in 2015, 16, 17, and 18 are not the trends that are around today in 2026.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Ugg boots, tall and short ones.
Yeah.
A lot of I'm trying to think. I mean, a lot of like skinny jeans, high-waisted skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Infinity scarves were still kind of in season, or like in that era. I was also really involved in like activities at my school, so there was a good chance that if I wasn't like in a cheer uniform or in like a band t-shirt, that I was just wearing sweats as well. Yeah. I think that we've gotten a lot more intentional about what we wear and how we wear it. Because with social media being as prominent and always just like in front of our faces, we're always subconsciously replicating what other people are doing. And if we see something that we like on other people, we try to do that to ourselves because it makes us feel good, because we liked it on another person. So therefore we're gonna like it on ourselves, or we want to try it. One thing that I always kind of like think back to is I was working with a very low budget in high school. I didn't come from a family that had a lot of money. So even for like photo shoots with modeling, I was looking at Pinterest boards and then just like hoping that I had something in my closet that kind of sort of worked. Most of the time it didn't. So a lot of the times I was missing the mark with like the inspiration that I was basing it off of. But over time I've kind of figured out how to get creative with stuff like that. I think that I seek out inspiration more than I used to.
Okay.
I really used to just get up in the morning and put on whatever was clean in the laundry, and now I'm a lot more conscientious about, okay, I want to wear this outfit to this appearance or to this work event on Tuesday, so I need to do these pieces of laundry by Monday, or I need to go shop for those pieces of clothing so that I can make that look come together. And I do it with a lot more notice than I did it in high school. I was throwing things together kind of at the last minute, and now I look forward to events a lot further out because I get to wear something that I worked hard on ahead of time. So Miss America has a very implied uniform that you kind of look like business professional, and that you're put together from like a standardized viewpoint. So a lot of the women that you see competing in Miss America, whether it's like for our interviews or when we're going out into the community and doing appearances, you're going to see a lot of blazer dresses or more fashion forward pantsuits, and you'll have a little sparkle depending on the girl's personality. You can kind of tell how girly girl or tomboy and stuff like that, and that's like where that self-expression comes in. But you still have that expectation that you are showing up as a professional because it is a job. I think we get really in our heads about trends. And I think there's pros and cons to it, because when you're going for a specific feeling or theme, like in the modeling world, we obviously have like mood boards and inspo boards. And so you want to pull out what's happening on those mood boards so that you can bring the idea of the intended shoot or runway look to life. But at the same time, how can you do that while like still being Hannah or like still being Jocelyn? And I think that there's a way to translate what we do in the fashion world to what we do in like our everyday streetwear as well. So I know that like one thing that really hinders people is social media and price tags. You know, we always want to replicate the thing that has the name brand or that has a specific like design on it, like patterns, colors, things like that. But at the end of the day, like I really don't subscribe to a lot of those, because I think that if you feel good in what you're doing, I also will like always admit that I prioritize comfort over cuteness. I am a huge supporter of comfort over cuteness. And so as long as you feel good and you're not miserable in what you're wearing, your attitude and your confidence will reflect that. Yeah.
So sometimes
I think it's always kind of fun to look at what other cities' fashion looks like, because if you look at even like New York compared to Dallas compared to Los Angeles, you are going to get three completely separate looks. And it could just be like, a Monday afternoon, daytime look. And they're all going to look very different from each other.
Yeah.
And because we're in the Midwest and we get all the seasons and all that stuff, our styles definitely revolve around like what the weather is doing. But I think it's kind of fun to use other cities as inspiration and play into that.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like in the country, like playing on what people do worldwide too. Like Scandinavian fashion is kind of coming to the top on social media right now. And I've loved watching that happen.
What do you think the Lincoln community could do better when it comes to uplifting different or diverse fashion choices?
I think it's kind of just like an overarching message. I would tell people to treat leaving the house like an event.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we do have a few fashion events that are more up and coming, like Lincoln Fashion Weekend. We have some more of those like formal nonprofit galas and events and things like that, like reasons to get dressed up, but you don't have to wait for those to get dressed up. I would pass somebody on the street in jeans and a t-shirt and have the same reaction as someone wearing a full outfit of polka dots because they felt like wearing polka dots that day. But we get really in our heads about like what other people are going to think about us and not what do I feel like wearing and what makes me feel good.